Hey guys, so you know her as the Jaded Smith. She is a content creator. If you look at her Instagram, you'll find a lot of insightful yet bizarre content on our industry and how it functions. She's worked on projects like Kala Pani, Jadugar, and Ulaj. So why did you pursue films, and how traumatizing has it been?
Okay, we're getting right into it then.
Yep.
I have always been into like watching a lot of content while growing up. I feel like I grew up very introverted. I didn't go out that much. So I loved watching films. I loved writing. I wanted to do something that combines both, which was screenwriting essentially. And then I finally ended up doing a mass comm course. And at some point, I realized that I didn't just want to write, I also wanted to direct. I feel like I started as an AD because I wanted to understand those technical aspects of what encapsulates making a film. Because I don't think film schools teach you that at all. Film schools don't teach you execution, logistics. You need to be on a film set to understand. And that's how like it started. And then I like really started enjoying being an AD and running a set full of chaos. So
Interesting.
here we are.
Interesting. And so you've assisted on a lot of projects, right? So if someone fresh out of film school or fresh out of college wanted to start out and assist on big projects and big names, what do you think the best bet would be today?
I feel like we should not really focus on big names or big people as compared to projects where you will get to work more. So usually these are the smaller or mid-sized films where you get to dabble in a lot of departments and learn more things as opposed to a popular production house or a person. I think a rookie mistake that people sometimes make is they try to cold text production houses or directors. I think you should approach first ADs or line producers because they are the people who are directly responsible for hiring the AD. So do some research, look up like the kind of films you want to work on and who are the production people or first ADs. First ADs will always be responsible for hiring the team. A director is rarely going to hire a third AD or an intern. So there's a higher chance of getting a response from them. And I just feel like cold text from a freshers can be annoying.
True that, yeah.
Like I know it's a horrible thing to say, but it is what it is. How many cold texts do you think these people get? Why would they want to just, pick you out of the flood of it? So I think just doing a little bit of a homework, being more focused on what kind of work you want to do, that helps. Of course, industry is in a slump right now. Maybe all of this is obsolete advice,
Yeah.
but that's how it happened for me.
Interesting. So, what are those few things that you learned along the way that not many people would know, but you think as freshers, as someone starting out, they should know, they should definitely know about these things? With you in terms of your assisting experience.
Having a thick skin is really important. I know that all of us have self respect, which is a good thing, but there's a reason you have chosen this field. It's not always going to be ideal. It's a very high pressure, time conscious environment to work in. People will lash out. It's good to just be patient in that moment and take it up later. Of course, don't let people walk all over you, but sometimes not being personally affected really helps, which is something I really struggled with. But then I realized that on a film set, I am insignificant. Nothing is personal. Praise is not personal, and grudges are not personal. Let's just like have fun. I think it's really important that if you're working on a set, you have to have fun. Otherwise, you could have just been working in a corporate job. If you're doing this, I think people lose track of why they have come here because it starts stressing them out a lot, and that defeats the purpose. So one is having a thick skin. Second is pre-production is really important. Prep is the most important part of any film, an ad, a show. People really ignore pre-production. I always like it's my favorite quote. Somebody had said this to me that the more you sweat in prep, the less you bleed on shoot. For my short film, I prepped for 3 months, which is again people were like this is a lot of prep time, but this is where you are making sure कि set पे जाके time बर्बाद नहीं होगा. You have to imagine the worst case scenario. You, as an AD, you go on a set thinking that this is the most horrible thing that can happen, and it will happen. Then what? So I feel like being prepared for the worst really helps.
Interesting. That's very insightful. And so you've managed to crowdfund your short film, right? She's made a short film. She's managed to crowdfund it.
It's still going on.
Tell them the amount how much you've managed to crowdfund yet.
I have to look at the exact number,
Yep.
but we have crossed 90%, which is 9 lakhs. And as of today morning, somebody also sent 2 more K.
Brilliant.
So, K.
Brilliant. So, what do you, if someone had to go about crowdfunding their own film, how would you step by step reverse engineer that process for them?
Okay. Uh, we don't have very efficient third party crowdfunding platforms because, like in India specifically, most of them are more social justice oriented or health oriented. So that doesn't always work for a creative project. So that's why I personally wanted to do it myself, that you pay me directly. The problem with this is data management because I have to maintain a very consistent log of people, their names, their addresses, which I feel like if you're a writer director, it gets too much after a point. So I feel like having a good producer or at least a good DA really helps. Organization is key. Also, I feel like this is an exceptional case. Crowd funds usually don't go really well. I was a little confident about mine because I have a fraternity on Instagram. So I thought, ki, okay, maybe 10 lakhs might not happen, but 4 or 5 will happen. So I made two different budgets. Where one was my wish list budget, which is 10 lakhs, one was my bare minimum budget. कि विश लिस्ट वाली फिल्म नहीं बनेगी बट एक कुछ ना कुछ फिल्म तो बन जाएगी 5-6 लाख में. I think that's really important because crowdfunding is a gamble. And either your crowdfund will always start very well and then it will completely plateau. Like it's always going to, the graph will always fall. Either you keep consistently making content, keep campaigning. I know somebody who did a door to door crowdfunding campaign in Bangalore and they raised a lot more money than I did, by the way. So it worked, but sometimes it does get overwhelming to also be creatively aligned to your film and managing the promotional side of crowdfunding. So I feel like planning is really essential. Before you launch the campaign, you should know that this is the amount I want, and that amount has to be honest. ये कम भी नहीं है, ज़्यादा भी नहीं है. Because people are at the end of the day coming out, giving out of their pockets. So morality like that is really important. And yeah.
Interesting, interesting. And I mean, you have a good social media following, right? You have she has 30 plus K followers,
I
right?
guess I have.
She has 30 plus K followers, and that's so. My question is basically, what are the perks that you enjoy having a social media presence compared to a filmmaker who doesn't have any social media presence?
I think there are pros and cons to it.
Okay, we talk pros first.
Pros outweigh the cons.
Okay, for sure.
That I
Okay,
admit.
yeah,
It's easier to get a foot in the door
yeah.
because my reels have become a conversation starter. So even during my short film, when I was reaching out to a lot of post-production people or places, I was essentially cold texting them that I love your work and if we could, work together. It was easier for them to connect with me because the conversation will start with you. We saw that reel that you posted. So that initial level of comfort has already been achieved, which I feel like वैसे नहीं होता. It would be more formal and more of a कि we don't know. I feel like तुम किसी का content बहुत बार देखते हो, तुम्हें लगने लगता है तुम उसको जानते हो. So people start off with a certain comfort level with me, which I really appreciate. I don't have to fight for that recognition in the beginning. I also feel there's a flip side to it because there are people who hate my content. I'm sure they don't want to work with me.
Okay.
I'm sure वो मेरा resume देख के reject कर देते होंगे. But again, the pros outweigh the cons. I do feel like getting through opportunities has been maybe 10 to 20% easier because people already know of me a little bit.
Interesting, interesting. So, tell me about your short film. What is it about? How much ever you can share.
Yeah.
And how do you plan to distribute it? If there's a film festival strategy in place.
So it's a dark comedy
Okay.
about modern dating. It's called Situationship is a working title. I would like to change it eventually. It's a it's inspired of something personal because I feel like my dating life is a shit show,
Okay.
and I had a
Yeah.
terrible fling earlier this year, and I was broke, so I didn't know what to do with my feelings. So I ended up writing a script.
Relatable. Okay.
I ended up writing a script because I didn't have the money to shop or drink. I came home, I wrote like a terrible first draft. But then I read it and I was like, just go back to ADing. You can't be a writer. This is not going to happen. Then after when I was done crying about the situation, I attempted a second draft, which was decent. So I think from the second or third draft onwards, I was like, hey, this is something that I should really make. And I feel like I always wanted my debut film to be very me. That was one of my main reasons for crowdfunding. That I don't want a producer or somebody trying to alter the script. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it for any. If you're giving me your money, you have the full right. But because this was my debut film, I wanted it to be all me. So I also think black comedy is a tricky genre to crack. So that is something I wanted to experiment with. And right now it's in post production. I'm hoping that from September onwards my festival run will start. And then maybe sometime next year. I'm not I want to do a free release ideally because it's a crowdfunded film. It doesn't seem right for me to really make a profit. So I was thinking like a YouTube thing, and I want to do screenings all across the country, like a lot of free walk-in screenings, because it's a fun film. Like it's not a. I know that social justice films have a much higher chance at festivals, but I also feel like I come from a certain place of privilege and I can't be telling those stories. I want to tell like fun films, where like I love films that are a mix of Masi and festival. Shiva Baby is my favorite. Fleabag is like a personal favorite. So I wanted to attempt something like that. I don't have a festival strategy in place as of now. I do have a database that I have built from scratch that these are the priority festivals I would like to apply to. I'm still thinking if I should get a curator on board or not. So that is something I'll figure out.
All right. And what does the curator do basically?
I'm not as well versed with this, but people
Okay.
have recommended curators
Okay.
to me. They can help you kind of pinpoint which festivals will be better for this kind of film because every festival has its own aesthetic and the kind of films they lean towards. So a curator can give you these top 10 festivals you have to apply to. Then sometimes these curators are also the India coordinators of certain festivals. So they can help you get waivers or discounts. That is what I have been told. Again, I have not actually spoken to one. I also feel like the kind of a person I am, I want to do things on my own. So I'm trying to wing it. But let's see, if I need help, I'll reach out to someone.
All right. All right. And if you had to make another film, would you crowdfund?
No.
Why?
I think you should not crowdfund more than one film. It is not an ideal scenario. You are essentially asking people to give you their money and they are putting their faith in something that you are passionate about. But how many times?
Okay.
If I'm making my third film and I still have to crowdfund, what does that say about me as a filmmaker? Why am I not getting a producer or a production house? Or I would rather, if चलो मान लो मुझे नहीं मिला production house या producer, maybe my film is such कि it doesn't mean it's a bad film, but nobody wants to make it. I would rather wait for a while, save money, and fund it myself. There's some ethical responsibility in crowdfunding that don't do it again and again. You can't ask regular people to keep paying to fund your dream. Figure out a way.
Interesting. And you originally not from Mumbai, right?
I'm technically from Lucknow,
Okay.
but I've grown up all across. So I've lived in 7, 8 different cities.
Interesting. And how did you manage to convince your parents to pursue a profession like film?
I didn't have to. My parents are very liberal, supportive people, where they are the kind of people who will tell me कि जो करना है बस अच्छे से करो. So they are very कि no matter what you choose to do in life, just make sure you're good at it. Make sure you have fun. So it wasn't their first choice, of course. Nobody thinks कि मेरा बच्चा तो industry में जाएगा. But when I told them, they were very okay with it. Like they saw how much I love films, how obsessed I am with it. They had their reservations about Bombay, honestly, but from a safety side of it, because I had never lived alone. But apart from that, like my parents make an effort to watch more films so they can talk about them to me. They do it very,
Lovely.
like on purpose. Films are all she can talk about. If I tell my mom that Great Indian Kitchen is like a great film I have seen, she'll watch it that weekend so that she has something to talk about. I think that's a love language.
True, that for
and
sure.
and they have been very very supportive. Like they, in terms of emotional things, in terms of financials also, they have always come from this space that you want to take a break, don't worry about money, we'll try to do as much as we can. Which is like, I don't come from generational wealth at all. But my parents have been very wise with their finances. So they are very transparent. Ki, this is all we have, you let us know. So I never felt that stress. I personally never felt that I'm going against them to make a career.
And are your parents open to adopting more kids who are into films?
I can ask.
Lovely, lovely. Manasvi, it was a pleasure talking to you.
Likewise.
I will have you again on board.